Hi everyone, I'm Fabio from Higher Hertz Project. Today I'm gonna show you the Tonex pedal by IK Multimedia. I already reviewed the Tonex plugin and the Tonex capture. If you want to see that video, so how the Tonex plugin works and how it works with the Tonex capture to capture your own amplifier or other kind of sources, scroll the video in Higher Hertz YouTube channel and you will find it. Today I'm gonna focus on the Tonex pedal, so the way how to bring with yourself all the capture and create your own pedal with real amplifier and real cabinet all inside this really tiny box. So let's connect the pedal and let me show you how this works. First of all, I have to power on the unit. It's really fast, as you can see, is already ready to be used, but I want also to connect this unit as audio interface, because you can do that, and use the Tonex plugin. So let me connect it. Okay, and here it is. Now it's syncing all the presets that I have inside the pedal, because you can use the Librarian tab to import your captures that you have made, captures that you have downloaded from the ToneNet, so from the community, or captures stock from IK Multimedia. Now it's all synced and I can see the bank. As you can see, all the banks that I have inside my pedal. You have basically 50 banks and 3 presets per each bank. So basically you have 150 presets that you can customize. And when you purchase the Tonex pedal, you already have all the 150 presets already written. So if you want to customize, you can do that. If you want to load your own captures, you have to overwrite, okay? But let me show you how to do that. As you can see here, I've connected my Amplitude Tonex pedal and I can see a lot of presets. Here on the bottom you can see basically all the presets that you have, and these are basically all stock presets from IK Multimedia. I can also go to the tone model. These are all the tone models from stock. So IK Multimedia, you already have a lot of pedals modeled by IK Multimedia if you want to load it and use only the Tonex like a Stonebox. So you can do that, not only for amp and cabinet. So you can load whatever you want and create your preset. So when you see all the models, you can see here all the information of the models. So the stop name, the brand, channel, and so on and so forth. For example, this is an amplifier and it's also a capture with a cabinet, so the entire rig. So you have, of course, the cabinet name, the microphone that have been used, some outboard, so the PureTech outboard, really great. So you have really already a lot of captures that you can bring with yourself and put inside on your pedal. So for example, let me show you. The first bank is an UK 800. Let me say you want to override this because you don't like it, okay? You can choose whatever you want and simply this one, I like this one. You can click, drag, and basically you can choose where to place it. And yes, here you can release. You have to accept that you have to overwrite. Okay, it's syncing. And now as you can see here in my pedal, I have in the first bank that body bump preset. And I can also scroll and see all the other presets. As you can see, is really immediate, really simple. When I'm scrolling here, also on the plugin is synced very well, very fast, so I can see everything. So let me show you how to listen some available tone model, or you can also download from the ToneNet. For example, here you can connect to the tone model. It's searching. And yeah, I'm connected right now, it's green, and as you can see you have lot of captures from community. It's really infinite because lots of people are using Tonex. You can listen and decide how to do that. Let's try. So I have to plug my guitar. Let's put also headphones on. So to do this step and using the pedal, searching from your Tonex plugin and then import all your capture, you have to set the Tonex to interface mode. You can use this Tonex in live mode or interface mode. The difference is that in interface mode you can also send your DI, and this is the case because you don't want to listen in the Tonex the pedal with the capture that you are sending, because you're creating basically a serial of double amplifier and will sound crazy. Okay, so you want to send only the DI. How to do that? Basically you have to go to the global setting, pressing, you can scroll from preset setting or global setting, goes to global setting. You have to go here, operational mode. Inside you can choose between interface or live. I'll show you live mode in a moment. So let's choose interface and then go to USB out and choose dual, because you can use in stereo, so you are sending through the USB out stereo signal, and in that way you will send basically all the Tonex sound. Okay, but if you choose dual, you will send the Tonex in a side, and on the other side you will send the DI, and this is what we need. In fact, here in the setting I'm sending the input 2. The input 2 is the DI. If I choose input 1, I send basically the Tonex. Let me show you. If I choose 1, it's really noisy, because basically I'm sending the amplifier inside the pedal to the amplifier that I'm choosing on the plugin. So you have to set this to input 2, and in this way I'm sending only the DI. And I'm listening only the amplifier of the plugin, even if I'm using the pedal. So I can choose whatever I want. For example, here I can listen. This is really fuzzy. No, let's choose if there is something from Mesa. Yes, as you can see, you can search, filter what you want. You can also choose something from the ToneNet. So let's go to the ToneNet. And now I'm listening something from the community. This is really cool. So I like this. I can download. It's downloading to the model. So if I go now out to the ToneNet, I can see this is the model, and I can also create, for example, a preset. Let's say this is a Fender Wow, for example. So I can clearly see that this is a preset that I've made. Save. Now let's go to the Librarian, for example, and let's load it. So I can go to the preset Fender Wow, and for example, let's place this on the second bank. So let me grab this, place here, overwrite. Okay, now I have the same sound in my pedal, and I can play with this sound on stage. Okay, so this is how to communicate with the Librarian of Tonex plugin. Let's now deep dive inside the pedal. Now let's listen the sound only of the pedal without the Tonex plugin. As you can listen in this moment, I have basically a DI from a side because I'm using the Tonex plugin, and from the other side I have basically this sound. So let's change to the live mode, for example. Let's go to the setup, global. Let's go again to the operational mode, live. And let's go also to the USB mode, to stereo. Okay, so now I have all the signal from the pedal without using the Tonex plugin, even if I'm using the USB sending to the PC. So I'm listening sound through the USB, not with the dedicated output in TRS. Okay, so let's deep dive into the menu of this Tonex pedal. You have two main knobs, one for the preset. As you can see, you can scroll, and you can see also that it's scrolling in the plugin. You can scroll every of your banks really fast up to the 49th bank. You can also save your preset, but let's go now to the global settings and the preset setting. So with the model selection, you can press and hold. You have the preset setup and the global setup. Let's see the global setup. What you can do, you can change the name of your preset, the cabinet. You can choose to active or bypass the cabinet overall. So basically you are choosing that all your preset will have the cabinet, or all your preset will not have a cabinet if you want to use external cabinet, for example. Let's choose active. User mode, you can choose advanced or easy if you don't want to tweak too much inside the menu. You can customize your external control because you can use foot switch, external foot switches, or for example expression pedal. You can also choose dual switch if you have two type of switches, or only single switches. You can calibrate your expression pedal. You can choose all the MIDI, control this unit with MIDI and different channels. You can choose, of course, from 1 to 16 channels. You can activate or not the MIDI through to send your MIDI to another device. You can choose the trimming. This is really important depending on the guitar that you are using. So basically, some guitars are louder, considering EMG, for example, pickups, so active pickups, and you can decide to enter into the device with a lower signal. If I go inside the trimming, I can decide to go up to plus 15 dB or down to minus 50 dB. You can decide depending on your guitar. Main volume, you can set the global main volume, so the master of your volume. You can go to interface, place the dB that you are sending through the USB. Operational mode, we are already viewed this. USB out, all the information, firmware, and you can go also to the factory reset. We can go to the preset setup. You can control an external control, learn how to use your external control. Amplifier of this preset, you can choose active or bypass, or also the cabinet, active or bypass. Now, you can customize your preset, your model. How to do that? This is the main view, okay? I can scroll and I can decide, for example, the first bank that I've imported, okay? Here you can see that you have an amplifier and you have a cabinet. These two are in color orange, and the color changes depending on which are the sources. So for example, orange are models, so are models of real things, okay? If you can see the cabinet in blue, for example, let's choose one, here it is. This is blue. This means that this is an impulse response. It's an IR that you have imported, okay? External impulse response. And for example, this is one of my capture with one of my own impulse responses. You can also see the color in green. Here it is. This is in green. This means that this cabinet is a virtual cabinet. So from a VIR technology of IK Multimedia. So it's an IK Multimedia cabinet, virtual cabinet, okay, in 3D space. This is also for the amplifier. You can also see the amplifier that is, I don't know, if you can see it. Okay, the amplifier is blue. I think that this is only a stomp box. So blue means only stomp box. So the amplifier is a stomp box, is not an amplifier. Okay, so you can recognize which kind of preset you are using, if you're using only stomp box or amplifier with a cabinet, with kind of cabinet. This is all the color, but you can see all this in the manual deep diving. Let's focus now on the model selection. So let's go, for example, on the first bank, my first bank with the second, as you can see, the B preset. Let's go inside with the mode select, and as you can see, are blinking the amp and cabinet. Here, basically, I can customize this. I can choose different models. For example, here I have all the models that I'm inside my pedal. So I can choose, for example, I don't know, this. I can choose this, and I can choose what you want to do. You want to import the amplifier of this model, or you want to import the cabinet. For example, I want to change only the cabinet, and let's choose the cabinet. You can choose which kind of cabinet you want to import. A model cabinet, an IR cabinet, a virtual IR cabinet. So you can choose, for example, virtual. And from the virtual, you can choose a different cabinet from IKEA Multimedia stock. So you can choose whatever you want. For example, this one. And let's choose it. So now my preset is made from a model of this preset amplifier, and the cabinet is a virtual cabinet. This is how you can customize your preset. By the way, you can only use impulse response that you have loaded in the pedal together with presets. So you cannot import actually with this firmware only impulse responses. So there is no any memory to load only impulse response. You have to load some presets that you are using some impulse response, and that impulse response can be then used with other presets in this way, choosing this model. Now let's see all the settings that you can use. For example, the so common gain, bass, mid, treble, and volume. Basically, if I turn this, you can see you go up to 10. Okay, you can customize as you want. The bass, the mids, treble. You can also listen to the changing. Less gain. Bass, mids, and also the overall volume. This volume is the master volume, okay? This is not the preset volume. So if you choose a volume and you switch, you will listen that the volume is always the same per each preset, okay? This is the master volume. You can switch, of course. Let's choose this one. Okay, you can also control the other parameters, so the alternative parameters. Basically, holding this parameter, you can see is written Alt. Now, if I move the same, I'm changing, for example, this is the depth, this is the presence, no more the treble, this is the compressor, and you can choose the threshold of compressor, noise gate, and so on and so forth. This is really useful. The reverb, for example, I can choose the reverb, less. I can also go to the mix 0 without reverb. But you can also customize the type of reverb, the compressor, also the noise gate, how to do that, and also an equalizer. You have to go to the parameter, and then you can customize the reverb. You can decide reverb on, off, the type of reverb, for example, spring, you can listen. Second spring, it's shorter. You can listen to the reflection. This is darker. Room. Or you can go to the plate. I love plate reverb. Okay, if you deep dive also, you can choose the time. For example, you can go with a reverb that is shorter or longer. You can also customize the pre-delay. Okay, the color, brighter, darker. Let's go back. You can go also to change the frequency of all the equalizer. For example, compressor. You can choose the compressor gain when you use the compressor or not. So you can switch the bank, of course, with the foot switch. You can also go up with the BSC together. As you can see, now I'm in bank 1 and I can choose which one I want to use, for example, the B. And now, as you can see also from the Tonex plugin, I'm in the bank 1 and I'm using the B. So it's a Supro capture with also the Walrus Audio Eons pedal. This is my capture, for example. Or you can go again up, bank 2, I can choose, for example, C. And now I'm using the Suproplexi demo preset. Let me show you some sounds, for example, from my capture. This is a marshy. Alright guys, so this is the Tonex pedal by IK Multimedia. I think it's an amazing tool to bring with you all the captures of real amplifier, real cabinet, real stone boxes. If you don't have your own real cabinet, really cool cabinet or really cool amplifier, you can download from ToneNet community or purchase also third-party packs. You can really find a lot of pack on the net. So it's a super light way to bring with yourself a really cool sound, guys. This was Fabio for Hi-Hats Project. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.